Funeral service for Juliet Ezekiel, who passed away at the age of 96, will be at First Baptist Church that's going to be held at Curtis & Son Funeral Home, North Chapel on Saturday. And the visitation is at 12:30. Service follows at 2. Mrs. Ezekiel was a longtime member of the First Baptist Church here in Sylacauga and office manager of Garrett Transfer Company years ago. And funeral service will be 2 on Saturday for Juliet Ezekiel at Curtis & Son North, the station from 12:30 to 2. In lieu of flowers, a family request memorial will be made in Juliet's memory to the building fund of First Baptist Church of Sylacauga. Online condolences at curtisondsonfh.com. Burial will take place at Green Hill Cemetery, Curtis & Son Funeral Home, North Chapel, directing that service. Funeral service for Mr. William Andrews. Mr. Andrews passed away yesterday at his residence. Mr. William Bill Orley Andrews, age 77, of Childersburg. Graveside service will be held Saturday at 11 o'clock at Risers Chapel Cemetery. Visitation on Friday evening, 5 till 8 at Curtis & Son Funeral Home, Childersburg Chapel. Online condolences at curtisondsonfh.com. Curtis & Son Funeral Home, North Chapel, directing Mr. Andrews. He had a business right there on 280. He did those swings and right there on the right going into Childersburg. He did those swings and tree houses and stuff like that, and chairs. It was Mr. William Bill Orley Andrews, age 77, of Childersburg. He passed away yesterday. And there will be a graveside service, 11 o'clock on Saturday at Risers Chapel in Alpine. Visitation Friday night, 5 till 8 at the Childersburg Chapel of Curtis & Son Funeral Home. Funeral service for Lisa Denise Smith, age 48, of Childersburg, is Friday at 2 o'clock from Curtis & Son Funeral Home in Childersburg, with Reverend Donnie Blackman officiating. Burial to follow in the Germany Mountain Cemetery. Visitation tonight at the funeral home in Childersburg from 5 until 8. Mrs. Smith died April the 11th at Grandview Medical Center. Online condolences at curtisondsonfunerals.com. Curtis & Son Funeral Home, Childersburg Chapel, directing. And funeral service for Mrs. Reba Odell Puckett, age 93, of Childersburg, will be Saturday at First Baptist Church of Childersburg at 1 o'clock. Burial in the Green Hill Memorial Cemetery. Visitation from noon until 1 prior to the service. In lieu of flowers, a family request donation be made to the Jan Puckett Memorial Scholarship Fund at Childersburg High School. Online condolences at curtisondsonfh.com. Willa Dean Mueller died in Birmingham. Funeral service will be held on Saturday, and that will be at 2 o'clock on Friday. Willa Dean Mueller's funeral service, 2 o'clock Friday at Calvary Baptist Church in Childersburg, with interment in the Green Hill Cemetery. Also, it will be a visitation from 11:30 until 2 at the church, and that is Mrs. Willa Dean Mueller. Funeral service on Friday at 2 o'clock from Calvary Baptist Church in Childersburg. In other obituary news this morning, funeral service for Mrs. Willie Lou King, age 68, is Friday at St. John Baptist Church in Sylacauga at 11 o'clock, with the Reverend Roger Holzclaw officiating. Burial in the Pine Grove Baptist Church Cemetery in Sylacauga. Visitation today, 1 until 8 at the funeral home. Mrs. King attended B.B. Calmer High School in Sylacauga, and she was employed with Food World for a long time, some 30 years, and then she stepped out of retirement and established a business down on Broadway, a small business boutique store called Lou's Boutique. And stepping out in faith, she became the first African-American owner in Sylacauga in the downtown area. She was a member of the St. John Baptist Church. And online condolences at communityfuneralhome.org, Community Funeral Home in Sylacauga, directing that service. And I had the privilege of knowing Lou for many, many years and worked with her husband, Joe, at Flavor Ridge a long time ago. And Willie Lou King, what a great lady she was. She'll be missed for sure. Honoring her life Friday at St. John Baptist Church in Sylacauga at 11 o'clock. Visitation is today, 1 until 8 at the funeral home, and our friends over at Community Funeral Home will direct that service. Funeral service for Mr. Paul Harris Sr., age 81, is today at St. John Baptist Church in Sylacauga at noon, with the Reverend Roger Holsclaw officiating. Burial in the Pine Grove Church Cemetery. Visitation was held yesterday. Online condolences at communityfuneralhome.org. Mr. Harris died Friday, April the 12th. Community Funeral Home directing. Funeral service for Mrs. Maddie C. Gates is 1 o'clock Friday at Corinth Baptist Church, with interment in the church cemetery. Visitation today, 2 until 6 at the funeral home. Wrights Funeral Home, Alexander City directing. Funeral service for Mr. James Eric Luster, age 47, of Alexander City, is Friday at 2 from the chapel of Radley Funeral Home. Dr. Albert Pike officiating. Burial in the Hillview Memorial Park. The family receiving friends Friday noon until 1:30 at the funeral home. Mr. Luster passed away Tuesday, April 16th at Chapman Healthcare Center. He was a member of the West End Baptist Church. Radley Funeral Home directing. Mrs. Margie Jones Whetstone, age 71, of Alexander City, passed away April 16th at UAB in Birmingham. Arrangements entrusted to Armours Memorial Funeral Home, Alexander City. And memorial service for Mike Kite of Sylacauga will be Friday at 6 p.m. from Radley Smith Funeral Home. Mr. Kite passed away Sunday, April the 14th. Memorial messages may be sent to the family at radleysmith.com. Radley Smith Funeral Home directing. Tanya Hope Hurst Cooper, age 55, died April the 14th. Funeral service will be this morning at 11 o'clock from Talladega Funeral Home, with the Reverend Otis Grays officiating. Talladega Funeral Home directing. And funeral service for Stephanie Renee Beavers, age 56, is today at 1 o'clock from the chapel of Kilgore Funeral Home in Pell City, with interment in the St. Clair Memorial Gardens. The family will receive friends today, noon until 1 o'clock at the funeral home. Mrs. Beavers died Sunday, April the 14th. Kilgore Funeral Home in Pell City in charge of the arrangements. These obituaries this morning brought to you by Curtis & Son Funeral Home, the North Chapel on Highway 21 in Sylacauga, and the Childersburg Chapel on Highway 280 in Childersburg, 256-245-4361.